Hi, Ken here with Goat Creations Plus, and we've been watching videos and trying to learn how we can sublimate on tiles. Now this particular tile is an actually sublimatable tile. It's already been coated with the sublimation process, so we bought it that way. But we're also learning how we can sublimate tiles using laminates. But for now, we're going to go with these. And what we're attempting to do is we're going to take this picture, and it's obviously those of you that sublimate, you know that it's going to come out dark, you know, in the print itself, but it should come out with vibrant colors, hopefully, once we sublimate it in. But anyway, this is the picture that we're going to run. And it should hopefully come out bright. It's a sunflower scenery type of deal. And we're going to make a 12 by 12 out of it on our press. Now the press currently is in idle mode, and I'm going to turn it back on and get it set up to run. We're going to run it at 400 degrees. Now, what we've recognized by looking at what other people have done, particularly companies that sell these ceramic tiles and things, we have found that on average a single 6-inch square, we kind of went into square inches and made our calculations from that, but basically one square 6-inch typically runs 4 to 5 minutes to get the sublimation process onto the the print onto the ceramic tile itself. So we're going to use 4 squares to make a 12-inch by 12-inch square, if you will. And we determined that with our formula and our calculations that we should be running about 405 seconds, which is almost 7 minutes. And I'm not going to use any tape. I'm not going to use any spray adhesive, which I almost live by, but I don't want anything to interfere. So it's going to be very important that I bring it down straight on slowly and bring it up slowly. So therefore I can hopefully eliminate any ghosting. So we'll wait for this to come up, and I'll have this set for 405 seconds. Right now I'm sitting at 297 degrees, and it's about another 12 minutes. It'll come up to 400 degrees like I'm needing. I've already got it set for 405 seconds for it to let me know when it's done. It says 0 pressure, but if you click on it, I'm going to go with the medium. On this Fusion IQ, I equate that to about a 5. So when I go to actually bring that upper platen down onto the bottom, it'll show me whether or not I'm on that 5 seconds. I've already kind of measured that, or put my ceramic tiles in here. That way, I've already seen that it should be at 5. So because I don't want to interrupt it even for 3 seconds, because that sublimation process is already going to kind of start to some degree, and I don't want to have any ghosting. So I've already preset all that, pre-pressed in a sense to get to there. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the picture down. I'm going to lay it on top, and I could have trimmed it down, but I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting the tiles on here so I can get it lined up while we're waiting for the press to come up to temperature. So I've got the draw out, and then I'll just slip it in there. I'm not going to use the swing away. I'm just going to use the drawer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these in. I've already kind of set them out on the table here, and now I'm just going to bring it in and place these tiles in here. And then the reason why I'm going to do this, or why we're going 405 seconds, is because it has to allow the heat to get through the ceramic tile and then hit the paper or the ink, the sublimation ink, and that's why we're going to do it this way. I don't want to do it from the top because this is a cushiony, the platen's got cushion to it, so I want to try to make the attempt to have it kind of wrap around a little bit on the edges. although it's not necessary, well, to some degree it won't be, but that's why we're going to do it upside down. You don't want to do it from the top. So for now, I'm looking pretty good. I've got, looks like pretty even around the sides. I got bleed on all edges. And so I just want to make sure I got the tiles pressed together properly. And I don't care if it takes me 10 minutes to figure that out. I'm going to make sure it gets in there right. But I'm happy at this point where we're sitting at. So I'll wait, obviously have to wait. I did put some butcher paper underneath it just for protection, and then I'm going to put butcher paper on top like that just before I bring this down and press it. I'll put that on there. So this is how I've decided I'm going to do this, and I'm hoping that this video will help you when you go to do it. Now another video I'm going to be doing soon is I'm going to do the same type of thing, only I'm going to use standard regular tile. I'll use lamination to give me a coating of polyester, if you will, over the tiles themselves, and then I'll press on using that as well and see how that works out. I have a feeling we're going to have to do some adjustments because I'm going to try to use the same process. I also want to note that as soon as these tiles are done, or the pressing is done, I'm going to be running these to the kitchen sink, which is a little bit of a distance away, and I have water in there that's been at room temperature, and I'm going to put these tiles individually in the water to cool it down, as well as stop the sublimation process so it doesn't have a tendency to get darker. So I want to capture it as quickly as I can. So that's the other part of the process. And then when I'm done, I'll lay them out on paper towel, and 24 hours allow whatever water has collected within the bottom of these tiles as well. It'll be all dry. And then we plan on putting, whether I make the frame or we buy the frame from like a Hobby Lobby or Michael's, then we're going to get a 12 by 12 frame, and we'll make it hangable. And I think there's a lot of people love this kind of stuff, and we found out we kind of like it too. So this is our first attempt at it. So I think we're pretty confident with our settings and how we came to 405 seconds with the 12 by 12. All right, well, it was up to 400 degrees, so it's ready to go. Now the temperature's going to fluctuate a little bit, but I've already got these set in place, as you know, and I'm going to double check it one more time, and it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. The temperature's coming back up to 400, but interestingly enough, and it makes sense, once I put this in there and actually press it, that temperature will probably drop 30 degrees, but that's why we're going to run it almost 7 minutes, because we're 405 seconds is because we're going in from the top. So I'm hoping that we've got everything right, and we're about to find that out. So I'm going to slowly put it in here, and then because I don't want it shaking around too much, and then I'll just bring her down, and hopefully the pressure is good. I'll go slowly. And we're at, well, 6. We'll deal with 6. I do want to state that I'm using this is a brand new press for me, so I'm really learning it a little bit. But this press is a Hotronix by Stahls. It's a Hotronix Fusion IQ 16 by 20 inch platen. I also bought some additional platens. So I can do sleeves and whatnot and things like that. Even smaller ones, so for small areas, so I have to deal with a big press. But what I like about this is I can thread my shirts or sweatshirts, whatever, I can thread in there. And you probably noticed that I printed on a 13 by 19 inch transfer paper. And I'm using an SG 800 Sawgrass printer which 13 by 19 is the max that I can use on that, and that I had to buy the bypass tray to be able to do that. So now I'll list all the different things that I'm using down below in the comments area. I'll tell you where I got this particular ceramic tile. Like I said, it's a sublimation tile. It's already ready to go. So then I'll hopefully the next video I'll be showing the standard tile, you know, like from Lowe's or Home Depot, Menards, places like that. I'm going to be looking for tiles, and I'll be practicing and working with laminates, you know, the lamination pouches that you laminate paper with. And like I said, once that's heated up, or adhere that to the tile, and allows us to be able to do that. Now I'll give you an example of that. I use a standard artist canvas, and I picked on a superheroes picture because I knew that there'd be a bunch of different colors involved in there, and brightness and dullness and stuff. So this is just a standard canvas. I put a lamination pouch over it, one layer, and pressed that on there. So here is the picture. It came out really nice and bright. And I'm going to be showing, I have another one that I'm going to be using, and I'll be pressing, and I'll be doing a video on how I did this. And using this, should be able to do that on wood, should be able to do it on glass, as well as other different types of canvases. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that for you. And I also should note that anytime you're dealing with, especially with ceramic tile, I've got these mittens or gloves, heat gloves, and this is what I'm going to use to take it off. And I'm going to immediately take them and dunk them, or I'm just going to drop them right into the sink, and that way it'll help cool it down faster, and that way the sublimation isn't still trying to do its thing. So anyway, we got 20 seconds basically left, and I'll release it, I'll pull it out, and immediately try to get it, hopefully it comes out. So I'm going to say it's going to come out if you see this video posted. If it didn't come out, you're not going to see it, so you won't even know it. So, all right, 5 seconds. Okay, it turns green, it's ready to pull out. Hopefully it works. You see this here, bring this up. So I'm going to bring up the first tile, and oh, it worked. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to go dump it in water. Okay, I'm dropping in the last one, and hopefully you can see that, you can see the brightness coming through there. So any moment now it might be ready for me to take out, and so I'll put down the, I should have had this ready to go, but it doesn't matter, it's already in. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm going to set the tiles in here. Should be warm, or yeah, it's cooled down pretty good. So I'm just going to set them up here, and I'm going to let it dry for quite a while. Like I said, probably because it's going to get all nice and wet on the back and everything. I need more paper towel. I'm out of paper towel. So we'll just double up here. And that came out great. I can't believe how well that looks. Isn't that something? Look at this. Look how bright that. And the sunrise part now, yeah, it's still got water on it. That just came out beautifully. And you can see where it wrapped around the beveled edge a little bit. So that was the purpose. So the idea is I'll be able to put this together. Let me set it up the way it's supposed to be. I think I got it right. We'll find out here, won't we? But anyway, we'll look at the picture. And, oh, it goes this way. So I need more paper towel down. So it's in our kitchen, so but it'll come in here like this. I don't know if this one belongs here. It kind of looks like it does. It's like putting a puzzle back together. Which, by the way, I'm going to also do a video on how to do sublimation puzzles. So anyway, that's the overall picture. And I don't know if you can zoom in there a little bit better. So dried up a little bit. But that's the overall picture, and we're going to go get either we're going to buy a frame, a pre-made frame, and I'll put that into a frame and we can hang it on the wall. So it's beautiful. Now imagine what you can do with this. You can put anything you want on it. Family portraits, you know, it's endless. Whatever you can think of for printing, this will, you know, sublimation will allow you to do it. Guys, this came out great. So I hope this video has been a little bit helpful. I may do a video on, actually I will do a video on whether I make the frame or if we buy a frame. Now one thing I did notice is because of the beveling, it does look like it came out a little bit softer on the edges. I'm not sure how to combat that. So you're definitely going to see the cross, if you will, here. Not so much up here because it's lighter, but overall I'm impressed. So hopefully, like I said, this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please ask below, and I'll do the best I can to get that answered for you. I'm going to list what equipment I've used. Obviously, I oversized the print. You know, this is a 12 by 12 inch tile system, overall in inches. And obviously I over printed it, you know, for bleed over, so for bleed anyway. So I printed, I think, 12.2 inches by 12.2 inches. That gave me just enough bleed, but you can make the bleed whatever you want. So if you have any questions, oh, by the way, I did that in Photoshop. And like I said, I used SG800 sublimation printer, and I printed on a 13 by 19 inch paper. And pressed it, as you saw, with the Fusion IQ, and I'm very happy that I purchased that. Thank you very much, and the next video with this that'll go with that is we'll show you the process of putting it inside of a frame, how we glue it, what we use to glue it with, and so it stays in the frame, and then hopefully, you know, if I make it myself, we'll have hangers for it. So that'll be the next one as far as this goes, but like I said, I plan on doing videos on puzzles, laminations, how to do the cutting boards, things like that. So thank you for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and put a like if this video helped you in any way. Thank you. This is Ken. Days out.